So, by launching Z Fold7, we can finally conclude that Samsung has officially entered into the competition of those fold phones, which they weren't last year, but with a price bracket of $2,000. Is it worth the upgrade? Let's talk about it. So, talking about design, Samsung finally did it, which they're willing to do from the last year, which was from Fold 6. They finally reduced the size with just 8.9 mm thick when it is folded, and when it is open, it's just 4 mm thick, which is the most thinnest foldable phone you can get into today's era. So with the top-notch engineering, the weight and the mass distribution of this phone is so much great that it just weighs 250 grams. And just for context, this is more lighter than the iPhone 16 Pro Max and Samsung S25 Ultra. Talking about screen, this year it's 8 inches corner-to-corner display. The displays are very nice, as Samsung usually does for their foldables. But the moment I thought about the fold phones, the clear thought comes like there are much more drawbacks of these fold and flip phones. The major drawbacks of these fold phones is when you actually fold the screen, it's like there is less room for the camera to enter, just like the slim phones. So you need to increase the camera bump in terms of, fitting a proper camera. But with this phone, the Samsung Fold 7, it comes with a true flagship camera. Now you will get what I mean. So this phone comes with a 12 megapixel of ultra wide camera, 200 megapixel of primary, and 10 megapixel of 3x telephoto. But it's not as same as the S25 Ultra, just because it's not the same. It's the close of what you can get as a flagship phone. So it does not support the same hardware which S25 Ultra does, but near about the same. Now in terms of the foldable phones, they have to make the camera grill thicker and thicker to fit the actual primary camera, much more powerful than earlier on. So this year already the camera bump is much more. So this phone is the most wobbling phone I have ever seen in my life. This foldables, when you keep it on table, this wobble is just like shaking the whole phone and the whole internal completely. And they have also moved the 10 megapixel selfie camera. So previously they were under the screen. Now it's the above of what you can get onto the screen. So you will get a more nicer field of view, and you can get some wide range shots with the same selfie cameras, just because extending those camera parts from the inside screen to the upper screen. Now, this phone is also having a few of performance bump, as the latest chipsets, Snapdragon 8 Elite chip, making them good for multitasking, again, for what they're meant to, and also some of the AI stuff. So the Galaxy AI is already been capable much more enough, and now they are becoming more capable day by day. And this also comes with the One UI 8, so you get all the advantage of what you can get in Samsung S25 Ultra, along with those multitasking features. But as of downside, they have finally removed the support of the S Pen, which not much of the consumer does. They even don't consider it as a downgrade, just because they haven't actually heard it that actually you can use an S Pen onto those foldable phones. But hey, if you're making a $2,000 phone, you might get those support which you can use as a business professional, just because foldables is not your daily driver, and it couldn't be. If you are someone who wants to multitask more often than anyone else, then you need those S Pen support slightly better. But if removing that S Pen and you get a more better and more clear screen, that's good. Talking about price though, this new phone Fold comes with a $2,000 mark. So the last year it was $900 and now it's $100 more. So you get in that with $2,000 you get 4400 million hours battery, which is same as the last year. I kind of don't know about why Samsung is not adopting the silicon carbon battery, newest generation and new technology. They're still believing onto those lithium ion batteries, so they're not taking any chances of destroying their whole flagship foldable lineups, but they should have adopted that, just because the silicon carbon battery can offer you more battery percentage, can go from 1 day to twice with a single charge, 0 to 100, and could be more power efficient as well. But again, Samsung battery department are not willing to adopt those technology, even though they are taking 2,000 bucks from their own users. So here's my conclusion. Here's my take on this Samsung foldables. So the foldables are often used for the business professionals, the work professionals, and some content creators which used to do multitasking on those phones, which will help at the end for those to be at the more of what they are. Now this new Fold comes with much more chipset performance with the thanks to 8 Elite chip, the much more good cameras, which sometimes often regarded as the good for the foldables. The thinness is also nice, and the multitasking of those of One UI 8, making it the perfect phone for what you can get in 2025. So finally, Samsung is like entering into the competition which they weren't again the last year, just because they have not been successfully implemented those new technologies in their foldable phones last year. But this year is like they have finally adopted to switch back and come into the competition of foldable phones with the honors like Oppo's and also Razer. So Razer was also one of the good products of the foldable market, but now Samsung is also competing those space around. So this foldable era will also be continuing, but it will be very nice to see what Samsung is implementing in their new S26 lineups and ultra lineups, and making them also more powerful machineries. And let's see whether they will adopt the silicon carbon battery or not in the 2026 variant of S25 Ultra. Till that time, keep vibrating just like